Okay, part two. So I was trying to show y'all that damn dragonfly. So and then I touched the screen. So anyway, so while I'm sitting there having this conversation with this guy, the girl, he gave me the girl number. I call her. We hang out, whatever. We talk, and she was like, she didn't want him to talk to me or deal with me because she knew something special about me or whatnot, what have you. And she knew my situation when it comes down to my children. And she was like, he don't even tend to his kids, this, that, and third. Like, I'm not fit to let this type of thing happen or go on with you. Like, we're not doing that, this, that, third. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I get it. Okay. Like, I'll leave it alone. Okay. So it went from that to me actually having a moment where I started to, like, this man was starting to be on my mind. And y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Like, this was, I caught on it because I was in the same situation with the guy that I used to talk to, which is Floyd. It's a friend. But I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't like the guy like that. Like, I liked him, but I didn't like him like to be consistent because I was focused on my children and getting my kids back in my custody. And I was just like, all work no play. I had a job. I had his shit going on. I had my life going. And I worked at Mary Mays at that time. And this guy was just like so consistent with me. And this apartment that I moved in was when I very first moved out there to Fort Worth. And I can't call the name of these apartments. Um, I can't call the name of those apartments. I don't remember the name. Okay, but I remember the zip code 776277, something like that. Anyways, I end up going through that experience with that guy and the lady, and I end up moving to the 5959 Meadowbrook Drive. And I still had somewhat of a contact with him, but it wasn't like how it was in the beginning because, I had my other children and I was my life was basically getting on track with my kids. Like, I wasn't allowing certain things to transpire to happen. And as time went on, I end up like basically, how would I say this? Letting a guy know, like, I'm focused on my kids. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get my kids together. I'm trying to, or whatnot. So the lady and us began to get cool. And I was telling her how he want me to pay for him to get some type of surgery or something done. And I was like, I'm not in the cahoots with that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So me and the girl's like, girl, don't do that. Don't help him do this, that, and the third. I'm like, girl, you right. I'm not doing that. So it went from that, y'all, for all of that to me meeting a guy, telling her about the guy that cut my kid's hair. And I don't know how the conversation came about, but something came about or whatever. And I kind of explained to her, and she knew who the guy was. His name, they're saying his name was Black. But I don't know how she knew the guy, but somewhere or another, she knew the guy, whatnot, or what have you. And he was real big. He was real popular. He was real known or whatever. And she was telling me something transpired where we had a conversation. She was telling me about the guy that cut my kid's hair. I told her about the guy that cut my kid's hair. And she used to talk to him or whatever. And I'm guessing so. Anyways, to make a long story short, because I don't really remember all what transpired or happened with that, because I never really took interested in a guy like that. I never did like the guy like that. So, y'all, push came to shove. The lady used to talk to the guy back in the day, or they used to like each other back in the day. And the situation transpired with something about my baby's haircut, which I never told her about it. But this is how the divine works. That had her, whatever he did, he knew what happened, and she had to inform me of some type of justice that was revealed because he did something, and I really didn't know because my son didn't really say. He was just like, Mama, why you let people do us like that? I said, baby, and I had to talk to him in a man point of view. I was like, things go on and things happen, and some things we could talk about, some things we can't talk about, because I didn't want nobody to harm my son. and the man had already got my son harmed in some type of way. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my baby, and I'm like, what people do, you got to hold them. They got to be held accountable for it. I said, but whatever happened, baby, I said, best believe mama's here. I'm protecting y'all. Like, you okay. You're safe. I got you. You know what I mean? And then a couple of weeks later, me and the lady started talking, and she told me something about he lost a business and or whatnot. And I ended up calling the guy to confirm what was said. And he was like, yeah. It was like, but how the fuck she know this, then, the third? And it wasn't like how I lost it or whatever. Like, they tried to make it seem like, it was a big deal or whatnot or what have you. And I just backed out of it because I was innocent. And it was family members, because I remember the guy saying something about who you pissed off or who you pissed off or made mad or whatever. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, my life was going fine. So when I got to him and I started explaining to him what was going on, that's how I knew it was an organized crime with my family. And the Floyd guy. They're all collaborating, working together in this crime. So when I moved on, I started kind of living my own life. But eventually, how would I say this? I end up, excuse me. I end up, what happened after that? I think I kind of moved on. I ended up getting new furniture. The lady was taking me places to help me find new furniture for my apartment, this, then, the third. There's just a lot of things that she was, and my kids kept saying, Mama, you ain't got to get that woman no money. Don't get a lady no money. Y'all, I had so much money and I was so blessed. I just opened up my wallet, took out, just didn't count no money. I opened up my wallet and I had nothing but hundreds. I just opened up my wallet and took out some money, and I handed it to her. And my kids was like, Mama, you help people too much. You too calm, Mama. And I'm like, y'all, we don't have no help. This lady, the only one helped me, she got me a deal on the furniture. She knew the people. She knew the ladies. Okay? They gave me a good deal on the furniture and the beds and in my bed and their beds. I got my kids' beds from somewhere else, but I got me a bed for my bedroom, and I got in a living room set for my living room. And it was just, I was blessed. I was blessed to run to somebody that knew somebody that owned a furniture store that really knew these people and that can help me, And things started really kind of like when I started dealing with her. Well, I ain't gonna say dealing with her. When I started talking to her, I started seeing where I was being harassed all the time. Every time I looked up, I was being harassed by my neighbors. And eventually one day, I ended up calling the police. Well, my kids ended up getting taken. My kids ended up getting taken, placed in the custody again from them returning my kids to my home. And this first time when they returned my kids, the caseworker got fired. And I got happy. I was happy. I celebrated right there. I thank God because I prayed, because the lady had left her bank card in my apartment on the floor at the same Bank of America that I go to. So I picked up the card, but something was like, look at the back of the card. Because I'm like, my bank card is in my purse. The lady was standing in front of the floor in the apartment and left the card there. I put in my Bible or whatnot, what have you. And it goes from that to me basically just staying focused on work, and she was turning my kids back to me. But I called the supervisor to report that, and the supervisor told her, go get it, go get your bank card. What are you doing? People, that's not normal. And they knew what was going on, so they let her go. But when I had to visit with my children for them to get ready to come back home, they were saying that she was no longer working out. But I'm gonna tell you how crooked they is. They let that lady be in my visit. She wasn't supposed to be there. Anytime that these people come and visit you during your visit, they're supposed to acknowledge themselves. They're supposed to greet you. It was all a setup. Because to get a lick back or something that she did, that she knew was wrong. Left her bank card in my house. You had a whole backpack. Why your bank card out your backpack? Why your bank card ain't in your backpack, in your wallet? So, I'm in a visit, and the kids telling me, and I'm like, be quiet. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Stop talking about that. Y'all know they say we certain things that we can talk about. We can't talk about that. So she ended up walking in. Oh, Miss Stewart, they're right. They're telling the truth. I need more training. I need more of this. I'm going to go back to school for this. In the back of my mind, I was like, oh, thank you, God. Because she was trying to set me up. She was really trying to set me up. And I reported her. And I thank God right there. And they end up sending other people to my house to I guess to try to stop me from moving, because I was in the process of moving. Because my son didn't like going to the school. There was a school right behind me in the apartments where I used to live at. And my son did not like going there. None of my kids. And people were saying like that school not good. That wasn't a good school to keep your kids there. And I could see all of them. They were riches. They were riches. I could see it. And they know I saw them. And I would go there often and go check on my kids. And sometimes they would call me like they didn't put up with my little boy. They didn't put up with him. They didn't, I guess, because they knew, he was going through things. And I can't say he was a behavior child. He wasn't a bad kid. But he was the type of child that, you can't treat him bad. And he had, he was, how would I say this? Detaching issues. He had a hard time to detaching because he was scared that he would never see me again. So, y'all wouldn't even be down the street. I wouldn't even hit the stop sign from the school. The people called me, said, Miss Stewart, come on, get him. I said, okay, that's fine. I'm on my way. I'm not even off the campus yet. I'll go back and get my baby. And sometimes I'll call the caseworkers like, hey, they don't even give my son a chance. They're not even willing to try to compromise to work with him. And I told her about they said something about the detaching issues with him. And so they was trying to put my son on medication, all kind of shit. Okay? And they asked me to sign some papers. So I kept looking at my son when he come to home. And they would put my son in the front seat. Sometimes he wouldn't even have a seatbelt buckle on. I said, next time, put him in the seatbelt buckle. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, not bad. I said, no, that's not cool. That's not cool. And then they have him sitting right in the middle when I come to get him off the bed. When they would come to my house. And get me. And I could tell like my son took some type of medicine. My son's eyes was dilated. And I looking at my son in his eyes like, yeah, they're giving him medicine. And he was like, when he come home, he'll be like kind of woe down, like just tired, drained out. And I'll be like, you okay? And he'd be like, when they're young, they don't really know. And so they just violated me all the way around, y'all. They really did, because they asked me that I want to sign for my son to take medication. And I told them no. I didn't want my son on no medicine, because it wasn't about him needing medicine, because when he was home, he was fine. It was the point of y'all just bringing them back. Y'all keep taking my kids from me. Y'all, how would I say this? They were abusing their power of authority when it came to me being a mother to my children, not getting the proper information or evidence on the case. They were just taking my kids. They had no reason. Even the workers on the job, not on the job, but the workers at the school, they would say, well, what's going on? People would literally come out and say, oh, y'all just fuck with that one with them kids. But it was people that was living there that was making reports on me, and other people that was calling in making false reports on me about my children. They was lying. They lied. So how I ended up finding out that it was a part of this flawed situation when one day I ended up calling Flawed about when I lived at the 59 Meadowbrook Drive, when I was being harassed by the neighbor. And I told him, you're going to help me. You're going to help me. And he was like he would telepathically talk to me. He didn't respond or nothing. He blocked me. When I showed him all them pictures about what was going on, he blocked me. He didn't call me. He didn't say nothing. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay. So when I moved to another place with the 59 and my kids got taken from me for good, but I can still like kind of fight to get them back. The lady was telling me like I need to what did she say? She said I need to file some type of charges or something like that. She was telling me I needed to do to get my get a new caseworker on the case and to get another attorney on the case to close the case out, because it seemed like to me every time they looked up, my kids was being taken from me. And they didn't have a probable cause. So the attorney that I had on the case, she was pissed. She was pissed. The new attorney that they hired, she was like, this is ridiculous. She said, I never seen a case like this. She said, this whole time, she said, this woman been back and forth with you all. Y'all removing this lady's kids. She said, if I was those kids, I'll take her for my mama too. It was a situation that happened where my son had to pull out a knife because one of the men were trying to attack me for no reason about a jacket. And then they were making threats to my other children, and they didn't even know us, man. These people didn't know us, but they were telling people my business. And this had to be family members reporting, working with some type of secret, some mobs. Okay? They had to. Because every time I look up, it was Mexicans this, Mexicans that, Mexicans this, Mexicans that. Yeah. Even with me moving and getting a place, they got a Mexican working my case. I gotta tell you the truth. I'm tired of it. I've been patient for years. And one thing about it, two things for sure, I ain't begging for nothing that's mine. I'm not begging. I'm speaking my truth. And I'm walking in what's mine. I'm talking in what's mine. I'm calling what's mine back. It's the bottom line. So when it all came to push the show, when it all came down to it, people were basically letting it be known, y'all attacking this woman for nothing. I never had a case where, people can call in and we up at somebody else's house and we don't even have a probable cause. At this point, we're harassing. We are literally harassing these people, this family. And it was true. They were. They would come to my house and they knew they didn't have an issue. Some of these people be so calm. We got a call. What's the call? Oh, the kids was rolled out of school. And what is your problem? Why are you knocking on my door, coming 30, 40, 55 minutes out of your way to tell me because the kids are rolled out of school? Why? There's no case open. Why are you here? Why? Oh, we just want to know what's going on. None of your fucking business. You coming over here to get in my business. You could have called me. And then that's harassment. You calling to tell me that the kid's been enrolled out of school with no open CPS case. That's my thing. And then it was a lot of red flags that these people did. They broke law. Because you weren't supposed to come to my house telling me nothing about my children. My kids ain't harming nobody. My kids ain't at the schoolhouse talking about they don't eat. My kids ain't going to school dirty. My kids ain't going to school stinky. My kids ain't going to school with bruises on them. My kids not going to school and they feel like they're abandoned. They not going to school talking about my mama beat me, my mama abused me, my mama boyfriend abused me and neglect me, and they not talking about none of that. You come to my house and tell me that my son being enrolled out of school. I know I enrolled them out. But you would think that these people have a probable cause, and they didn't, y'all. That's the God honest truth. They didn't have a cause. And I was packing up to leave. And the neighbor, that's when the neighbor got involved. I was looking for a place, but I had already packed up because, simple fact, I was being harassed by my neighbor. They stole the camera off my apartment. That's when I decided it's time to go ahead and move because the authorities wasn't doing anything. They wasn't, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't do nothing. They didn't. And I'm gonna tell you why I say this, because this man had just stuck something in my key. One day I was leaving out I had to make a little groceries, but I was going to complete the groceries and I was going to look at a house. Now, the first house we looked at, we almost got kidnapped, me and my kids. I told this to the MHMR caseworker. I didn't know nothing about children trafficking. I didn't know about drug trafficking. I didn't know any of those things. I wasn't introduced to any of those things at my age coming up because I was stayed in church. So I didn't know nothing about the street life. Even though I was out, rent the way, but I wasn't in the streets. I wasn't, y'all. I wasn't in the streets like that. Because if I did, I'd know shit like that, right? That's the streets will tell you that. Right? Okay. So when I run away, I go to a friend's house. And I'll sit there at my friend's house. I'll hide up over there. I'll go to a family member's house. Things like that. But make a long story short, there's a lot of things that I didn't know when I moved to a bigger city. And it was a lot of trafficking, a lot of children trafficking, a lot of kidnapping and things like that going on that I didn't know about. And that time I had the experience where I was about to get kidnapped, me and my kids. They flew helicopters over my house, over the house that I was going to. They shut my car down. It was a lot of things that transpired. We hid underneath the tree. I told the people was like, yeah, that's normal. That happens. I'm like looking at them like, what the fuck is you saying? What? But the expression gave them that. I didn't say what I'm saying, but I'm looking at her like, what? And whatnot. So it was like they kind of got scared off, And so after that experience, the second time I went to go look at a house, a situation went on with the neighbors, where the neighbors, I was getting ready to leave and I couldn't lock my door, but the man was standing on side of me. My kids had done already ran down the stairs. They went down the stairs. This big ass tall man, he was like every bit of 6'3", 6'5", standing behind me. I didn't know. My kids were too scared to say something. And they questioned my kids too. Them people questioned them. Because the lady ended up telling me we need to come up with code words. And I'm like, why would she say that? I said, they questioned my kids without my consent. They broke law all the way around. They're not supposed to question your children without your knowledge. If there's not an open case or, a crime going on that's being committed towards your children or you, and I was being harassed, but still at all, you can't go against the parents' right. Because I'm the consultant, I'm the parent. You're supposed to acknowledge me to question my children. So it went from that to me actually going out of my, getting ready to leave, and I go to lock my door, and the man standing there, he's trying to distract me. He's standing there, and I'm like, you better get the fuck away from me. I'm telling you, I will mace you. I warned him not once, but two, 3 times. I will mace you. And he didn't move. He was just standing there talking shit. He had a bag or something in his hand. And I didn't look down at that bag because I wasn't taking my eyes off him. But it was something. It had to be a bag. I said a bag. It was a bag. He had something in his hand. And it was a bag. Didn't know what was in the bag. Didn't care. But I just wasn't taking my eyes off of this man. And I said, you better go on and leave me alone. Back up off of me and leave me alone. And he started talking shit or whatever. And I maced his ass. And he was still talking shit. You in your door in your apartment. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to lock my door. But see, he had put something in my lock, y'all. Yeah. He put something in my lock. Yes, he did. He damaged my lock to my apartment door. So I wouldn't leave. And after that experience, after that moment that I had when that guy went into my unit, not went in my unit, but put that lock into my door. I'm gonna tell you what transpired after that. He was on the phone with the police, and I ended up calling my kids back upstairs, and my kids was at frantic at this point because it's like that's why he doing that, because he literally came up here and just did all kind of weird ass shit, damaging my property, putting a lock in my door. He locked something in my lock where I couldn't put my key in to lock the door. And I'm explaining this to the police, y'all. They brought some rookie ass cops to my house. Yeah, I said it. They were fucking rookies. And they broke the fucking law. And they had a whole task force outside of my apartment. Like I did something. Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, the fuck they did. All 4 white men that was a part of an organized crime with my family. Yep. And he got so bold in what he was doing. Well, I'm gonna just say this. During that process, I'm on the phone with the police. And this is how I knew that police service, those police officials was all crooked. It's when I called the lady and I said, hey, why do y'all have all these police outside? I'm not coming outside. They not fit to harm me because I'm being harassed. I called in several times and made a complaint on this person. I'm not doing that. Y'all not fit to make me out to be the bad guy. Do you know they had the property manager out there for this right motherfucker? The property manager, this man done threw shit, food, all on my back patio. This man done did magic spells in my house, throwing shit around across my floor. Damaging and hurting my children. And y'all ain't do shit about it. Not a goddamn thing. But yet, when I mace his ass for putting something in my lock damaging y'all property, you go call the property manager, she fly her ass over here with the police? And then when I was on the phone with the officer, she said, I'll tell them they need to stand back because you're not armed, you're not dangerous, this, that, and that. He told them people some shit. And to be honest with you, he really couldn't have said too much because I remember him being in the car, on the call with the police, standing in the door talking shit to me with the police. So the police knew what was going on. They knew they were trying to take me out. They were all involved. And because they showed me an image when I first moved out there, how the police was watching me. And the cop hid himself. He didn't let me see who he was. We were making eye contact. And he turned it like he went the other way. Yeah. They knew I knew they were watching. They knew I knew what was going on. At least trying to figure out what was going on. So it went from that, y'all, to me actually coming outside my house, talking to the police. And I'm like on the pad, at the top of the stairs. They're downstairs. So while the man downstairs, I'm upstairs, and they talking to me. They telling me to come downstairs. I'm like, what the fuck I need to come downstairs for? Y'all said y'all need to talk to me. So what you talking to me about? He's like, oh, so what's going to happen when you leave here? If we leave here? I'm like, I'm going about my day. I'm going to do what I was doing before y'all even. He was telling me about a house. He was telling me that he had a house or something that he was paying for. He was buying. How would I say this? He had a house, and something about him having a house, and would he get this house or something like that? And I said, well, that's only if you doing what's right or whatever to get this house. Like, he took that from what was going on to a spiritual thing, and they arrested me, and they said that they got me for they arrested me for a sort of a body of an injury or something like that. And I'm like, what? Like, how you gonna arrest me and this man, the one that's harassing us? And my kids were all upset because they knew what was going on. They knew these people was attacking us. And every time we called, they didn't do shit about it. I was upset, my kids were upset. Y'all, they left my sons at home. My son was old enough to stay at home. And he stayed there with his brothers. And it didn't dawn on me for my son, because my son would stay up all night. He would stay up all night and watch over his brothers. And what my son didn't know, or what I forgot to tell him, was about the back door. But I believe I had changed the locks. And that's what set everything off. I changed the locks. That's why this man started harassing us even more, because he couldn't get in our house. When I said that man was jumping over that balcony coming in my house, because if nobody see these people coming in our house or entering our property and we're not seeing y'all on the camera, he was coming through the balcony. So I'm like, how's he getting here? And I dawned on me that the back door, and this was at the 5959 Meadowbrook Drive, the back door had a door lock on it. But I didn't have a key to that back door. She said she didn't have a key, so she didn't even change the lock. I went and changed the lock after so long. When my kids' gifts came up missing from my house, I took that back door lock off and I put that lock on for my bedroom, because my bedroom had a lock on it. So I took that bolt lock and I put it on the outside of my apartment door where he couldn't even enter or pick the lock off that door. And he got mad. First, he was beating on the wall during the process of me putting the thing on there. Now, if I'm ashamed of something, I'm not doing no beating. I'm not, making no big ass loud noise. This man was beating. I said, all right, I'm gonna call the police on your ass. I would talk out loud to his ass because he was mad because he couldn't enter my house. Couldn't get in no more. If you was to try to get in, you would have to have a key to that front door. That's why he was putting shit in my front door lock. Because I was putting my feet down about my home. That's my house. What you doing? You ain't got no right in here. So it went from that, y'all, to me actually having a moment where they're saying something about they even was getting my kids molested. Yeah, they're admitting it. Yeah. They were saying something about the boxers. They kept asking me to ask my son about the boxers. And my son, how would I say this? Something about my son, boxes. My son would say, Mama, these not my boxes. And I'm like, baby, that's your boxes. Like, what you talking about? But when I start looking at his clothes and watching his clothes and whatever, y'all, that what my son clothes. So one day, they had some shitty ass boxes on my nightstand, meaning in my closet. I'm like, baby, this yours? He was like, no, or whatever. And it was like, as to say, in my heart and my mind, they were molesting my son. They were raping my son. And one day I went to the school. Something was going on at the schoolhouse. My son's leg ended up hurting his leg. The kids did that intentionally. Now that my son was being aware of what they were going on, they hurt my baby on purpose. They had the kids to do it. Organized crime. And my kids went to school with nothing but Mexicans, by the way. Yeah, that's why I say everywhere we went, it was Mexicans here, Mexicans there. These kids hurt my baby. My baby sprung his ankle. He said one of the kids, 2 or 3 of the kids had pushed him. They were running and playing, and the kids pushed him down, and he sprung his leg, and I had to take him to the hospital. And he fractured his leg, and he had a boot on his fucking leg. And I started talking to him, asking him, like, what happened, this, that, and third. And then they were saying about these people retaliating on my children, coming for my kids. How the fuck y'all gonna come for my kids when y'all up here trying to sacrifice me and my kids, first of all? Working with organized crime with my family while these bitches over here in La La Land making shit happen against me and my children. And I'm over here trying to live a righteous life. And it's all behind a house. A fucking house. So y'all was getting my kids molested. You're gonna pay for that. Moving forward. So in that process, y'all, I'm sitting there and I take my baby to the doctor, whatever, and get him checked out or whatever. And when I went to when they arrested me, because the school was right down the street from my house. When they arrested me, y'all, I went to jail. I was in jail for almost like 2 or 3 weeks. They was talking about the CPS worker was coming to the jailhouse. And I was asking them, like, they were asking me, like, where's the rent money at, where the bills, the money for the bills, this, that, and third. I gave them all my property. And I told her to tell my son that the rent, the paperwork was, the money order for the rent was in my car in the glove compartment. They got that. They secured the rent. They paid the rent, whatever. So the lady said that the man was harassing my children. He was beating on the wall. He called CPS and made a report to CPS like that. Like she said, like she wasn't doing her job. And she said she knocked on the door for him. He didn't answer. He didn't answer. And she said he know he could see her through that camera. She said, the next time you involve yourself in harassing these children, doing anything else, beating on the wall, she said, I'm going to call the police and make a police report on you for tampering and providing false evidence on the CPS case. Ever since then, they took my kids. They lied on me. Said I had a mental problem, I had an illness. They had my kids even lying on me. Because I'm going to tell you why my kids were scared to stay there. I was a child too. My kids were scared to stay there. Because of the shit that he was doing. And CPS took my kids. And they put me in a fucking nut home like something was wrong with me. They did it twice. When I went to this place the first time, I stared at that man, that black guy. He knew that shit was foul. He knew it was wrong. And he made it seem like he was doing a job, but the energy he gave, it was like excitement. It was like he was happy. Yeah. Like he was happy. And that lady was asking me why you... I had this most disgusted look on my face when it came to him. I was so disgusted. I ain't even gonna lie. I was looking at him like, ugh, you just nasty spirit. Nasty. And during this moment, y'all, that transpired, I end up going to the back. They were telling me I gotta take out my clothes. I gotta put on this. I said, I'm not doing none of that. Ain't shit wrong with me. I don't even know why he brought me here. So it went from that to them saying, well, ma'am, you won't even be seen. They won't even see what's going on or whatever. Like, you got to give these people a chance. And she kept asking me, why are you looking at him? Why are you watching him like that? And I ain't even answer. Because at this point, you trying to pick an argument. Shut the fuck up. I can look where I want. I can look where I want. As long as I'm not putting my hands on nobody, as long as I'm not threatening this man, as long as I'm not going out of my character on this man, I can look where the fuck I want. See, this woman, she wanted a reaction because you wanted to make it seem like something was wrong with me, bitch. You did. And I ignored your dumb ass. And the other lady escorted her out of the room. Because it's like, what's the point? She ain't saying nothing. And she like, go ahead, I got it. It don't even take two people to dress the person out. Because what you in here for? And then he had to walk out anyway because they trying to put me in a whatever. And I go back there and I talk to one of the people in there. And I tell them who I am. Tell them I'm a psychic medium. And I told them that. And they said something was wrong. I have a mental problem. I'm crazy, something like that. And the guy was like, what? And he was a wizard. He was a wizard. I walked right into a wizard. Yep, sure did. And thank you. I don't know if you're going to watch this video, but thank you. I appreciate you. You'll forever be respected in my eyes. I send many blessings to you. Many. Because he saw me. They got report on me too. They got me right the fuck up out of there. I wasn't up in that place for 3 hours. I was in there for about 45 minutes to an hour. They called my name. They asked me where I live at. I told them where I live at. They called me back again. They said, Miss Stewart, your Uber's downstairs. And I'm like, what? A public humiliation. Twice. The feds was already on it. The feds had knew. They called. So my kids end up going to a family member house that lived there for out there for years, never helped us, never reached out to us, never told us what was going on, never know that they were down there. They lived down the street from us. So it went from that to me going to CPS and the people saying that they need to see my kids at a certain time. I'm calling for my children, the people not answering the phone. I had to call another family member to get them to get in touch with them to bring my fucking kids home. Like, why the fuck is you not calling me about my own fucking children? What the fuck is y'all doing? That shit wasn't normal. It was like as to say, well, we like they were planning on keeping my kids and me not be a mother to my fucking children. And so I called them. I said, hey, CPS want my kids here. They gotta visit with CPS. Bring my children. Oh, well, she gonna be there. I said, okay, fine, cool. So, y'all, I got ready to go get groceries for my house. So because when they come, they're gonna check to see if you got food, this, then the third. Y'all, on the way of me leaving out, I could feel me getting lightheaded. I was lightheaded going to the driveway, go to my car. And I was like, oh Lord, like I'm gonna be all right. I shook it off. I'll get ready to, they were doing spell work anyway. They did spell work. I had got into a car. They knew that I was coming. They had a white car sitting in the back. Sitting in the on the side of the road where we park our car at. Okay, because it was a little parking area. That so far on that strip we could park our cars on that spot. Because they were damaging my car. They were putting shit on my car. They were doing all kind of shit, flattening my tires. So I stopped putting my car over there. I put it in the open. So they got a police sitting in the back watching back then. They got a lady right here, right where I'm parked at, across from me, sitting in the car with a guy. Man, when you trying to hurt somebody and it ain't meant for them to be hurt, and it ain't their time, God will put that shit on you. So the ones that was all a part of that, God made sure she got a test of her own medicine that they were trying to project out on me. And I'm going to tell you why I say this. I was leaving out, and there was a car. I was at the stop sign pulling out from the stop sign. I had a car came out of nowhere, hit me. Two of my driver's side tire. My tire was out. My car spun around and hit the lady that was behind me. Now you parked. You sitting there. How the fuck you get right here to right here and then I end up hitting you and you behind me? When the people hit my car spun. She was right behind my car. She got hit. My car hit her car. Because the car hit me hard. It spun me around. Right back where at the stop sign. And she was on the side of the stop sign. I'm in front of the stop sign. I'm past the stop sign, but I'm in the spot. But I turn around and my car right there, face back at the thing, at the, what's the name? Her car's here. Y'all were following me. But you in the process of you following me and what y'all was meant for evil, you got hit. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Remind you guys, when I stated about the situation with me being up in the, how would I say this? The caseworker, CPS caseworker, left her bank card in my house and I called and I reported her. She reported to the Grottos. She reported that shit to them. Because evidently my family had sold me off to these people, or these people was a part of an organized criminalization and was trying to control me in it. And I celebrated right there when they told her she was off of my case. I did like a little hallelujah dance. That little Mexican, that fucking Guatos went and pulled in front of me in the middle of me in the wreck. Another Mexican lady came and held my hand right on the side of me. And that lady, another Mexican lady, got out of her car and did the same thing I did at the visit with my children. All because you try to set me up. And I believe in God like you mimicking me, but what you thought that I thought that was evil, you went and tried to kill me. You organized somebody to hit me and try to kill me. Like, bitch. Bye. 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 And now that I'm talking about it, y'all, I didn't even see it like that then. I didn't. This is all like me, like waking up to what really truly happened, that they were really trying to kill me, which I knew they were trying to kill me because they had people running and running to my car on purpose. Yeah, they were running to my car on purpose. They were fucking them people cars up. Yeah. And for some reason, the people never said nothing to me, and in the back of my mind, they knew. They knew. They fucking knew that they were trying to kill me. They had done two up these people van so bad, the whole fucking front bumper came off. And I don't drive bad. I'm not a bad driver. I drive good. But just to have that mindset to target somebody and try to kill somebody, y'all fucked up. And to think you're going to still be in my life and try to organize crime, I'm about to lay some people down in the motherfucking system. I am. I have no choice because they won't leave me alone. They won't leave me alone. And it's all because of this Floyd Harmon Jr. that's in my energy. And they know this man is in my energy. And they know this man is bringing conflict and confusion and chaos and drama into an organized crime that he helped set up and plot on with my kids getting taken. And don't really have no reason for what was really transpiring, was going on. All I can just really say is about a house. That's all I can keep talking about and reminding me. A house. Every time somebody did something, it was a law official of authority or power, they talked about the house. Even when I bought the furniture for my house to move into, they fucked me over with that. I gave them in the $3,000 something. You know what they gave me? 2 mattresses. And a headboard that the pieces didn't even match. Gave them $3,000 something for just that. I had hell trying to get to my house with that shit. The police, them, they knew. They knew that man fucked me over. The police stopped and was trying to help me carry that shit on my thing. Then the city came and helped me, and the shit I got the stuff on there then when the city came. Because when the city guy came, he was like, man, you gonna cause a wreck. You know, and I'm saying, well, I'm going slow as I can, but the mattress was just, it was flimsy. Any healthy, big, thick mattress that costs a lot of money is going to have some weight to it. I wasn't going fast, first of all. I was in the slow lane with my emergency lights on, so he stopped me. He was flashing his lights behind me, so I pulled over because I knew what was wrong. And when this guy pulled over, when I pulled over and he pulled over, he told me to take the mattress, put the mattress in the inside, put the box on top. And I did, and we were able to put the box on top. Me box in there in my van and the mattress in the van. So, kudos to you. He followed me all the way home to my apartment. Got to the apartment, took everything out. He watched. Ain't nothing matched. Nothing. And he asked me how much I paid for it. I told him, I said, I'm going to get my attorney to have him served to pay me my money back. And that man talked me out of it. And I'm so God gift to earth, because this man even told me about the house. He said, he even asked me, he said, well, I took all the money and I put it towards my house. Because he was asking me, he said, well, what about, if, I was getting a house and this, then, and the third, and I did this, would I be able to get the house? I said, well, why wouldn't you think you deserve to have a home? You would deserve this house. I spoke life into a situation that they were giving me information on about a house. Everybody told me about a house. And this man held weight and values. He told me about the house. And he got me for some of my money. All that money I paid out to this man, I only got half. I didn't even get half of what I ordered. It was 4 beds, mattresses, and a box spring. Not a box spring, a headboard, like a headboard that had a Texas symbol in it, an Eastern Star symbol. Okay, in the middle of it. I thought it was, I thought it was nice. I liked it. I wanted. It was red. It was red wood, and it was real nice. And I said, I want that. And he said, okay. And I got that. But every time I looked up to go talk to the man or see the man had his children there. The kids didn't know what was going on. So I couldn't even talk to the kids. And they were professional. They just was like, he's not answering. I'm like, okay, I'll leave it alone. So it goes from that to me calling him and asking him. I said, just give me my money back, because it was like he had said he had to order this and order. He didn't order nothing. That man played me. He did. He played me. I was a young woman and he played me. He played the fuck out of me. He kept saying, oh, the order haven't came in. Oh, it didn't this and that. And I said, well, why don't you just get my money back? I'll go somewhere else, because my kids are coming home. And I need that furniture for my kids. And when I went and got the furniture, y'all, he went next door and went pull the mattress from the people place next door. He brought me to another warehouse where it was like a box storages that was built in, and he just gave me stuff. He didn't even give me the right stuff. He didn't even make sure this stuff was right. I'm thinking that it's right, but he didn't care. And the police was watching. Fucked me over. All that money. So, I had to buy bunk beds for my kids, mattresses for my kids. I had to buy a bed for my room. It's just, I was dead wrong. And I ain't got nothing nice to say. I don't got no tears to cry. I don't even have no emotions for y'all. I don't. I'm not going to tell you no lie. I just don't. Justice being served. Why I'm going to cry? Why I'm going to bring up an emotional place when justice being served? I'm going to speak my truth. It is what it is. But I wouldn't dare let you feel like you won. Nah. No. But so, anyhow, I went through that. And then after I went through that, I ended up getting my kids. 2 of my kids ended up coming back because I had no help. I'm struggling trying to get the stuff in the apartments. It was just all kind of stuff, y'all. People was actually watching me. They learned people in the neighborhoods. This shit was organized. Everybody that worked around in that community, they knew that there was an organized crime. People that knew who I was, that was noticed to like watch out for me, or if I see me, like, she's a nice person, don't nobody harm her or whatnot or what have you. They brought their kids. They brought their kids to speak for me, because they were watching shit go on. I was in the apartments, and I would come home every day, and the other people had their kids out there, and they had some apartments by my apartments. Their apartments was made funny. So some apartments was on the side of my apartment. So it was like like every every units, it was like maybe 2 units upstairs, 2 units downstairs, and another set of 2 units downstairs. It was like 4 units in one. And they were all made like that. So people can see out through that back door, I mean that back window or that bedroom window or whatever. Because we didn't have back doors. But they could see out their bedroom windows or that bathroom windows, and they would see, me come by, but I couldn't see them. But they can see me. And that's how I knew people was watching me, because shit had went on, and the lady had called the police, and the woman had attacked me or whatever, and I started fighting the woman back. And they were like, that lady didn't do nothing. These people messing with her. And I wasn't understanding like how they noticed, and it was a whole bunch of kids talking. It wasn't no adults. No adults came. Them grown folks brought their parents. Them grown folks brought their children, because they're like, real part is like we were basically saying like they were told to watch me, keep an eye on me. And they were like, that lady not doing nothing. These people got their kids attacking her, and her kids not even saying it. Like her kids going upstairs. The mama acknowledging them because they lied on the mama, and they were lying on me. They were saying I rolled my eyes at one of the kids, and it was just all kind of just weird ass shit. And it was just, when you think people not watching, because I know you're gonna watch my video, and I know a lot of collectors, I know y'all gonna watch these videos too. And what all I'm trying to say is, when you think people not watching you that got your back, there's a whole lot of people that's watching you that's got your back. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Them people was watching me, and I had no idea. Y'all will drive my van into that parking stall and unload all of my groceries, and those people were watching me, and they were like, damn, she really trying. She really got it together. She's really holding it down, doing this together. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, my oldest son will be at the trunk. I will be at the trunk. I will walk from the trunk to the stairs. My other son, he will be on the middle of the stairs. My little boy, he will be at the top of the stairs. And all he was doing was eating the snacks. He didn't put shit in the house. He was just sitting there eating. And I was like, God damn it, get the groceries in the house. And oh my God, I miss my babies so much. I really, really miss my sons. And it was just like a little trail. It was like a little trail, a little choo-choo line, like a train line, and everybody was getting the groceries and going to step. But when it got to baby Chester, he was just being a little boy, and it's just, I just know I did my best as a parent. And, I know I wasn't a bad mother, and I would never allow nobody to make me feel like I was. Yeah. And one moment that I told my son, I believe I spoke this to him too. I said, he had a girlfriend, and strange people would come around us, and I would say, watch your brothers. And one day my little boy went and hugged the lady out of nowhere. And I just looked at this woman, and I just knew she wasn't right. And I said, come on, babe. I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. And she was just hugging him, just looking at her groceries and stuff. And she was just hugging him like, and it was like he knew her. And I was like, you know her? He was like, no. And he just go on and run and play. But he was a joyful kid. He was happy. And for you to take my baby from me, like, man, that's a hurting situation, because I knew I wasn't abusive. I knew I didn't hurt my babies. Nope. It's not one moment my kids could say, yeah, my mama beat me down. Nah, I whoop ass. And I whoop ass one time. And my oldest son was like, I'm not getting, you not have to whoop me. But my other son, I whooped his ass. And that's any parent. But my kids can't say my mama beat me to the point where, how would I say this? Like, I can't stand being around her. Or my mama beat me all the time. And my son can really say, no, my mama whooped me one time. That was the first time my mama ever whooped my ass. Yeah, he'll tell you that. He sure will. It was like, yep, my mama whooped my ass one time. And how would I say this? um, through all what I experienced, everything that transpired that happened, I never forgot my faith. I never gave up on God. And it seemed like to me, like, I see the devil trying to stir up something. They're trying to keep something going, but it's all the truth of what happened. And these people know it's no way of escape to what they did to me. Everybody caught up. They even coming out with it in the readings, in the tarot readings, to the point where it's going to take me to draw to God. That's the only way I'm going to keep my justice. Because I see a lot of people try to project out of false narratives or try to project out their attentions on me for me to react or me to be in a certain energy or space, because they're trying to harvest from my energy. And when they harvesting, the truth is being more truth going to be prevailed. I'm not going to stop speaking my truth. I'm not. These people will not get a lesser sentence. I don't give a damn what they admit to. They're not getting a lesser sentence, and I'm saying that. Everything that you put me through, I'm not saying for you to go through it, but goddamn it, let justice be served. That's all I'm saying. And if you don't like that, take that up with God, because you're guilty. You're guilty as charged. I had to sit there and go through what y'all pushed me through by breaking law, spiritual law, physical law, bringing false witnesses and false witnesses to a case that didn't even make sense. So you're not getting away. You're not getting a lesser sentence. I don't give a damn what you discussed about. I don't give a damn how much truth you speak about it. I don't give a damn how much you want me to speak the truth for you. There's no way of escape. You're going to have to deal with every charge, every false evidence, every false witness, every lie you told, every false report you made. You're going to have to deal with that. And justice will be served for me and my children. That's just the bottom line. And all the newcomers that's coming in, that you're hiring on this organized crime, they will get their karma too. Nobody is dismissed from this case. Nobody. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. I went through it. And my children had to go through it too. Remember that. Innocent children that you try to reroute from me. They love that they parent and only got one parent. So your harsh call is brought you a harsh judgment. It is what it is, and I have no more to say. I have no more to say. I'm going to continue my day. It is what it is. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Cut your notification bells on to catch these readings and these channel messages, because I'm going to tell you something. If I know my mama did me dirty and didn't take care of me, even if I'm in the system, I wouldn't want to talk to my mama. And that's a whole lot of kids in the systems that's saying these type of shit. That's speaking up about this type of shit. My mama didn't take care of me. My mama didn't do this. My mama didn't do that. My kids can say, my mama tried. My mama was overprotected about us. Anybody looked at us and was trying to make it seem like they were trying to come for us, my mama be like, I was like that because something was happening. And I didn't know what was happening. And they were after my babies. And all I was doing was trying to protect my babies. My kids, it had got to the point where my kids start understanding they're attacking us. They're attacking my mama in front of us. Y'all see this? Yes, the kids start to notice. So the kids will start to be some form of a witness. So now you're threatening my children to go against the grain of their mother. Well, guess what? The Empresses is here. We're here. It's a lot of shit that take place. And it's spiritual. Spiritual and physical. And a lot of people want to run and hide, point the fingers, point the narratives. And this time around, the divine ain't accepting a whole lot of BS. Ain't no going to the spiritual courts and rage baiting the person, then go say, oh, I told you she didn't deserve this, I told you she didn't deserve that. Ain't none of that bullshit. Ain't no rage bait somebody out the engine, then go and try to go steal something from this person and that person. At this moment, everything that you're trying to put your hands on is now, I heard evaporating. But it's not evaporating. I'm going to tell you something. It's being sent and given back to that person with love and divine care. Because that person is love and like. And when you can try to go pavilion yourself in the ethers about somebody else's blessing, somebody else's miracle, and you trying to control that, man or woman, hey, you called the shot. So, hey, you called it. Get your action from it. And you are. And that's common. 888 portal is here. We're not going to be stuck in a pattern. We're breaking patterns. Things are reuniting. Okay? Things are getting better. And by things getting better, we're letting go by talking about it. Because see, me personally, I didn't talk about it, y'all. I didn't. I really didn't say too much about it. And now I'm at the place where I'm like, okay, I can talk about it. Let me let it out, because now if I talk about it, I can release it. And not only that, but I can release the person. Because by this person holding on to me, it make me feel like I'm still holding on to that person, but I know it's nothing there. It's nothing there. It's nothing real. It's all false. I was sold a dream. I was sold a dream. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And, yeah. It is what it is. Okay?